I heard Louisa ask the question, what can Denmark do to assist, or what can be done from this side of the pond to assist Virgin Islanders, or to assist the Virgin Islands with regard to the built and shared and mutual heritage. But then I heard Donna Christensen, our beloved delegate to Congress, answer. And one of the things that she said that was so important, she said, well, Denmark can help us connect back with our roots, or connect back to the African continent. Early on in her presentation, she said that it was important and critical that there be a psychological assessment taken regarding slavery in the Danish, or Danish slavery upon the people of the U.S. Virgin Islands. Wayne James, who I don't see here today, he mentioned that all of this, he's here? He'll be back. He said that all of this began with displacement. And he talked about the importance of a celebration at the 100-year benchmark or anniversary. And he said that if we didn't mobilize and seize the power to define and celebrate and commemorate this in the right way, that perhaps we might be displaced once more again. Then I heard Ulla talk about her 4 times great-grandfather and his charge and responsibility to survey and map out Maroon Ridge on the north side of St. Croix, where runaway slaves or enslaved people had gathered for refuge, and that settlement might in fact be to the benefit of the Danish institution. And so while we are here and we're talking about a built heritage, we're talking about structures and landscapes and great houses and all of those things that are so very important to us, what became evident to me that we are also talking about people and relationships, and that there is a symbiosis perhaps between these structures and the people. And the reason that they are in disrepair, or they both share the same reasons, neglect. But as we move forward, I've been asked how the younger generation can adapt to this history. And to answer that question, I wanted to let you listen to something for a minute, or perhaps for 3 minutes, if I can have your undivided attention. I'm going to play something for you, and let's see if you can follow along. This is the fruit of some of our labor over the past few months, working on this people-to-people relationship. And we have let the youth of the Virgin Islands and the youth of Denmark speak to these issues, and this is what they have come up with. Can everybody ready? The engineer? How many people in the room are familiar with Farfar, by show of hands? Farfar, here, the recording artist here in Denmark. Okay, maybe a third to a half of the room? Okay. And people from the Virgin Islands, how many of you that are here from the Virgin Islands are familiar with the Virgin Islands recording artist Nyora, by show of hands? Virgin Islanders. Or
Copenhagen is coming.
Sure. Or Batch. These are chart-topping artists from the Virgin Islands, and Farfar, I believe, is a household name. Listen to what they have produced.
Children
in stone. So what about my compensation and my own? To the pirate Babylon them give loan. Just me come take over so me dash a brimstone. Yeah, you know how long it's been a struggle out there. Them people rise from slipping out the world that was clear. Operation movement now is like a nuclear. If you don't get them up them on a whole frigid air. Children of the ghetto, people of the ghetto. Solid with the African bill. Feel them crossing with the bridge. Can we forgive the innocent blood and spill? In the ghetto, wasting more time. Still the love of Johnny's on the inside. Won't lose faith, won't lose pride. In the righteousness of people must unite. No more generations of sadness, no more generations of madness, no more. Generations of badness no more. I'm telling you how we come with gladness forever, yeah. Generations of sadness no more. Generations of madness no more. Generations of badness. Now you are I'm not tomorrow come with gladness.
Thank you for your attention. Just wanted to play that for you for a minute. Perhaps we can discuss it later after we close. But in short, can we address the preservation and the protection of this built heritage and not address the preservation and the protection of the people who built and who will continue to maintain that? I think that they are one and the same. That is the idea that I would like to drive home today. But as we talk about ruination, I'd like to consider humanity instead of buildings for a second. And we're all familiar with the injury and the impair that slavery and colonization have dealt people all over the world, not only in the Virgin Islands. But I want to, for a minute, discuss 1917, because it is what is current and happening and affecting us today. And as we proceed towards 2017, there are some critical issues and things that we must consider and move forward. I was asked the question, how does the younger generation adapt to this history? Well, there are many unresolved issues and many unanswered questions that exist in their minds. Look at the picture. And so, in 1848, we find that slavery is abolished in the Danish West Indies, or in the Danish colony. As we traverse to the United States, we find that in 1863, by Emancipation Proclamation, slavery is abolished there. How then, generations later, in 1917, do a people whose perhaps their first expression of self-determination is to take the matter of their freedom and emancipation into their own hands and to go on record with having abolished slavery for the first time ever in the Western Hemisphere without having shed blood. How then, in 1917, do a people who were deemed to be free? These are the difficult questions and the things that we find difficult to discuss. But how then do a people who were free, how then were they sold? And that is the question that we are faced with today.